This is the 5 reasons why doing time is so hard for inmates. Let's get into it. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of things go on during the holidays, especially Christmas, that make it so tremendously hard for inmates doing that time. This is my top 5. Number one, time stops, but life doesn't. What does that mean? That means that for people that get sentenced and sent off to prison, they are often forgotten, but everybody else's life goes on. The person that gets arrested, gets put in handcuffs, put in a car, goes to jail, goes through the court process. Once that's over, people tend to forget about them, unless it's your immediate family, if you're lucky enough to have people that support you through your time. But time stops and life goes on. And then the inmates have to deal with that whole process and those feelings of depression and anger and all that kind of thing. So Christmas time, especially Christmas time, because it's like the major holiday of the year for most, is when it's the most depressing, it's the most horrifying for inmates. And I think as we go down through this list, number 3 is really going to be, in my opinion, one of the hardest. The number 2 is that families everywhere except with you. As an inmate, you're looking at occasions and you're looking at dinners, and if you have tablets, you're doing your video visits and you're seeing everything go on, and everything's going on without you. And you see the kids opening presents, you see maybe your father or your mother or whoever's left out there, and you get really, really depressed. You hear the Christmas songs, you see the decorations, and it is another trauma that you have to experience that you go through when you're locked up. Number 3, and this is like the biggest one in my book that I've watched and experienced inmates go through, is the guilt. It hits harder than their sentence sometimes, because the guilt is they are seeing that all the things that they've done has come to this, where they're in a cold, lonely place. All they're hearing is radio sounds, yelling, screaming, people cussing, fights breaking out, all the things of prison, just the coldness of the prison, and the guilt sets in. And during these holiday times, all they're thinking about is what what should be versus what is, and they're looking at themselves and they're saying, "I caused all this, and it's my fault." A lot of guys go through uh, the phase of where they're trying to blame everybody else for their problems, but they have to look straight into the mirror every day and see that it's their fault, their pain, and their choices is what's put them there. And it's a terrible, terrible thing. And number 4 is just the loneliness that's amplified by being in prison. Yeah, you may be in prison and there might be hundreds and thousands of people in that facility. There might be 100 people in your dorm, but you feel like the loneliest human being on the planet, because you're sitting there thinking about doing time. Some guys say doing time's easy, but it hits you in the gut during the holidays of the, it's, a lot of prisons, they decorate, they have lights up, they have trees up, and they have Christmas programs, but you can be in a room of 1,000 people and be the loneliest person in the room. So it doesn't matter if you have people around you, but if you don't feel that, then you are just lonely and you're bitter, and you look at your cell door and you look out your window, and all those things collectively get to you and wear you down. And the last thing, the 5th thing, is hope and pain they arrive together. So Christmas brings hope, but for a lot of people, Christmas brings pain. And Christmas brings the pain of all the mistakes you made in your life, and you got to sit and look, and you're looking around your cell, and you're looking at officers come in and out. You know they went home, even though they might have to work the shift at Christmas. At least they get to go home. You don't, because of the choices that you made, and the choices suck, and it's hard, and you start feeling sorry for yourself, but you're the one that caused it, and the reason you caused it is because of the actions and choices you made. But what do you do about it? You just kind of get through it, and you try to process it all. I know working in prisons for years, the highest time for suicides or the highest time for people acting out is during the holidays, especially at Christmas, because you just guys just want to lash out, get all that stuff out of them, and they're so angry, they're pissed off, and they're pissed off at themselves, but they're lashing out at everybody else, and they really, really want things to be different, but they can't be. And if you're doing any length of time, you know you're not going to see a lot of Christmases. Imagine a guy doing 20 years. He knows for 20 Christmases he's going to be gone. And that's a devastating process for so many guys that they know that all this time they have, they're going to be home. They're not going to be home. People's going to pass. Things are going to go on, and you're going to be stuck in prison. And the only thing you can do is try to mentally cope and not go crazy. So those are my top five. Drop a comment, and if you've done time, tell me how much, what types of things that you want to add to that list that I may have missed. We're going to do another video on the correctional officer side of it when they have to work through the holidays and how that affects them mentally, because it affects everybody. Affects staff, affects inmates, affects families. Everybody gets a piece of this thing, because nobody that does things that goes to prison does it alone. Affects multiple people, and it's just a perspective that you gotta understand. So look forward to for the correctional officer version of this video coming soon, right behind this one. Like, share, and subscribe, and always remember, stay on the other side.